Hey YouTube, it's Erin, and I am the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Dior scandal that's currently ongoing. And I know I'm really late to the game. I think this all sort of came out while I was on vacation, and I have some thoughts about it. I don't know that they're anything that others have not already said. I'm not going to go into too much detail regarding what was found, but I am going to let you know my thoughts about it with as much as I can understand what's going on from secondhand news, basically, and also let you know my thoughts regarding my Dior items that I have in my collection. So just to start out with, I want to show you one of the bags and one of the straps I have in my collection from Dior. It is my most recent addition, the Dior Caro bag in the medium size, and it is in the Canage supple leather quilted pattern, and I think this bag is absolutely stunning. And I don't think that this particular bag was made in the factory that was featured in the news. But that doesn't alleviate Dior of responsibility for the conditions in that factory. The other piece I want to show you that I've acquired recently is my Dior strap that I purchased from Fashion File. So this strap is navy and it has the black trim and the super chunky hardware. And I do really like this strap. I like the bag. I have actually 3 of the Caro bags, and that completes my Dior collection. The 3 Caro bags and then this strap. And I'm not going to grab the other 2 out, but I just wanted to show you kind of what I have from this house. So let's start by saying that the pieces that I have in my collection were purchased prior to any knowledge of what's going on in Italy. Second of all, I'd like to say that I don't think that these particular pieces were manufactured in that plant. Third, I'd like to say that this particular plant was subcontracted by Dior. I know that that doesn't alleviate them of some responsibility, but this plant was not run by Dior. Next, I'd like to say that LVMH owns Dior, and so therefore should have some responsibility as well. And so if you look at it in terms of that angle, you could say that all the brands underneath LVMH are kind of tainted. And that is pretty much all the brands that there are, besides what's owned by Kering Group. And I guess Hermes is its own entity. And so that makes it so where there are just almost no brands left to buy from. Oh, and I guess we could also mention Chanel. I think that's separate as well. So, you know, you have Kering Group that owns a whole slew of brands, LVMH that owns a whole slew of brands, and then you've got Hermes and Chanel kind of off to the side. I haven't really heard anything bad about Hermes in terms of working conditions, but what I will say is their linked selling has been in the news a lot lately, and I'm not a big fan of that model either. So Hermes, in my mind, doesn't get off scot-free either, because they basically force customers to buy things in order to get a bag that they may or may not want. And I know that nobody's really forcing anybody to do anything, but I just don't like the system that they have. I would say, okay, Chanel is scot-free. You know, they seem to be in the clear, but that's not true either. I just recently watched a show called The New Look, and The New Look is on Apple TV, and it is a great show. And I don't know how much historically it is accurate, but it depicts both Chanel and Dior during World War II. And after watching that show, I really respect Christian Dior. And again, it's a TV show, so how much can I rely on this information? Probably not to a huge extent. But if there is any truth in what they showed about Christian Dior as well as Coco Chanel, I have to say I am not the biggest fan of Chanel either. And I'm sure there are a lot of historians out there who would say that Chanel is a wonderful person. But I have heard in the past, before this TV show came out, that she had some Nazi connections in World War II, and we could say, oh, it's a different time, all that. But the whole point of this is to say that now we have all of the brands tainted in some way. So with all this said, I guess I have to say, for the reasons that I have stated, I'm not going to be selling any of these pieces, and I'm still going to wear them. But am I going to run out and buy a new Dior bag? No, probably not. But it's not necessarily just because of this scandal, this most recent scandal. It is more because my priorities are shifting, and I feel like I have enough in my collection that I don't need to run out and buy more. I don't feel like I need any more Dior Caro bags. I have 3, and the other styles in their collection just don't tempt me enough that I want to buy them. The Dior de Joy, I believe that's the East-West version of the Lady Dior. I really like that bag, but I wouldn't use it very much, and so I don't really want to go buy it because I don't want to add things into my collection that I'm just not going to use very much. I think since I went on this vacation, I have kind of changed my mindset in terms of what's important in life, and I really am turning towards experiences more and more. In fact, I recently sold my Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis to buy tickets to go see Taylor Swift with 3 sister-in-laws, 2 nieces, and my mother-in-law. We are going to have a fabulous time. And I'm also selling my Clapton by Louis Vuitton, which is this beauty. And it's not because I don't like it. I think it is absolutely stunning. But looking around in my collection, I have enough pink bags, and I know that this bag is going to go to somebody who really wants it and will treasure it. And so I'm thinking, if I'm not using it that much, I mean, I do use it, but if I'm not using it that much, why not sell it and use it to fund the rest of that Taylor Swift experience? And it will just do that. We're actually going to New Orleans in October to see Taylor, and we're going to stay down there for a few days and do a few other things. And I did a New Orleans vacation recently where we went to a plantation. So I think we're going to maybe visit a different plantation while we were down there, in addition to going to the concert, as well as perhaps some other things too, probably mostly revolving around food, because the food down there is quite incredible. If I'm able to sell a few other bags along the way, I probably will, if they are bags in my collection that I don't think I'll miss if I part with. I don't want to sell anything that I'll go to wear and it won't be there and I'll be sad. And the things that I have decided to potentially let go of, I'm not going to have those feelings about. So if I do happen to sell another 1 or 2, then that would be great. And I may use it to kind of pay myself back for what I spent on my vacation to the Mediterranean. Because a few of the items that I purchased there, particularly the Greek ring, which would be this one right here with the sapphire and the diamonds, were pretty pricey. And so if I could sell a few things to kind of replenish my bank account, then that would be great. Sorry for the barking in the background. My doggies, they are just a pain in my butt, if you know what I mean. Am I going to continue to buy from luxury brands? Probably not a lot. I'm not saying I'm not going to. I will if the opportunity arises, and I think that it's something I'll use. But I'm just not at the moment into buying things just to buy them. And I think that that is kind of a healthy change that's happened with me over the course of the past month or 2 with what happened to my son in the ATV accident, as well as the trip, kind of reprioritizing in my mind, in my life, what is important. And then you throw in these scandals with Dior right now, but not too long ago it was Balenciaga, and Balenciaga is owned by the Kering Group, and the Kering Group owns Saint Laurent and Gucci. And so then you're like, okay, all the brands are bad. If you look at who owns who, and you think, okay, well, if the top person who owns Balenciaga is in charge, and they're also in charge of other brands that you love, is it okay to buy those brands too? Well, you could say no, but nobody wants to do that because nobody wants to eliminate all luxury if they are a luxury lover. And so, I do think about these things. If I had Balenciaga, I would not carry it. With Dior, I don't feel that way. I know that the conditions in the Italian factory were horrible, and I do not support that at all. And so for the time being, until the investigation is over and I think Dior has been sanctioned, and so they have to prove that they can change their ways. And assuming they do that, then I may buy from them again in the future, but right now it's just not in the cards. Let me know what you think about this topic. Would you buy from Dior? Would you buy from other brands with LVMH? Does that impact your feelings about Louis Vuitton or other brands that are owned under the same umbrella? What do you think about the fact that a couple of huge conglomerates own so many of these brands? And if one is tainted, do you find that the others are as well? If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same. It's the @ then the Handbag Housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there, or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.